Welcome back. We're talking about coal this evening. I want to talk just for a minute to Britt Kirby. He was one of the 400 miners at Willow Lake that was recently brought in and told, none of you no longer have a job. So tell me what that day was like. Was it something you guys had heard rumors about or knew was coming? What was that call like?
No, I mean, it just happened after the 17th. You know, we were off work for about a week, and then, you know, things were going back and forth, rumors of, you know, they were working with MSHA on something to get approved or whatnot, you know. And then they just all called us and said that we're all having a all-hands meeting, you know, an informational meeting, you know, that day. And then, I mean, I, of course, knew it probably wasn't going to be good, but, you know, I mean, there were rumors flying about, you know, well, they might want us to do this or this and that, you know. But then we just went in there, and they just said that that the decision came down from corporate that we weren't meeting safety, you know, requirements and everything, and they were shutting the doors on it. So, and then we asked them how they're going to fund the coal that they have, you know, for TVA that's contracted out of there, and they didn't know. They were going to think of some way, I guess. I don't know.
So do you guys get any sort of severance or any sort of compensation while you're in the meantime looking for another job, or what?
Yeah.
What do you do now? I mean, you personally don't have any children.
No.
To support, thank God.
Yeah.
But you still have yourself to support, and your vehicle and your home and things. So did it put you in a panic mode, or you're just thinking, well, I've got it all?
No, I mean, they told us in the meeting that they were going to pay us for the next 60 days.
Okay.
And medical benefits and things like that for the next 60 days. And I didn't get, I mean, I'm not upset about it. You know, I'm 26 years old, and, you know, like you said, I don't have any kids, and, you know, I felt for a lot of guys that, you know, in their late 50s, early 60s, you know, like they said, you know, a lot of mines won't hire, you know, a 60-year-old man, you know, and things like that when they can hire, you know, 26-year-olds. I mean, I didn't freak out about it too much, you know. It's not the first time I've been laid off, and probably won't be the last. So. And
correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the history of mining in Illinois, but wasn't it booming many, many years ago, then it kind of went dead, gone?
Yeah.
Where did it go and why?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you my thoughts on it, but the mining industry was going great in this area because we do have a huge coal reserve here. Fantastic. It's the right height to be mined. Usually the conditions are pretty favorable. A lot of things favor it, but then there was some, like, Clean Air Acts, you know, these things that put restrictions on what types of coal you can burn in these power plants, you know, how, not on how hot they are, but on, you know, what type of sulfur, how much sulfur, or different things. And so then what happened was the same thing that took it down saved it, though, for us, is that...
what do you mean by that?
Well, they put more strict restrictions on coal again.
So it's not the mining of the coal that's dangerous to the environment, it's the burning of the coal at the power plants, is that correct?
That's right. So then what happened was then they put these restrictions on them further, and so power plants had to catch up their technology. And then when they did that, they could scrub the coal. We call it scrubbing, but basically it's what it does. It takes the sulfur out things. Then it went back to, okay, who has hotter coal? And Illinois has hot coal, so it benefits the power plant to use that. So those that have this new technology, you know, our coal, all of a sudden, bam, it became a viable resource again.
Well, and, you know, whenever I did watch last year, I know there was a show on Spike TV called Coal, and my gosh, in West Virginia, do they do a lot of mountaintop mining? Is that what mostly they do there? Now, this is my West Virginia girl right here, so she knows.
I don't know at all, but they do mountaintop removal, which is they shear off sides of the mountain to get to the coal.
Well, I noticed on the show Spike, these guys were literally bent over and laying down. Is it the coal seam? Is that what it's called? It was seriously like, hi, I'm 54 inches.
It's really small. Those are small mines, though. There's a lot of those small mines, but there's also the bigger mines that are, you know, a lot higher.
So what I saw on that show was like, okay, this is not your typical average coal mine. This is like a mom and pop shop.
It'd be kind of like the minor league.
Okay, compared to the MBO.
To the majors, yeah.
Yeah, because that scared me. But no matter what, you know, Troy and I have conversations, and he does not want me talking about him. You know what I mean? He's like Mr. Private, and I'm Miss Out There. But we were talking one day, and I said, wait a minute, you're how many feet deep? Like 900 feet deep? About 10 foot is a story of a building. You're 90 stories of a building. If I look at a 90-story building and cram it straight down into the ground, you're that deep underground? And he's like, yeah, that's how we are. Like at Mock and M-Class, do the mines around Southern Illinois vary on their depth?
Yeah.
Like how deep are you?
Well, it all depends on what seam they're mining in. You know, if they're, you know, we were 6 seam. So
What's 6 seam mean? A 6-foot seam?
Well, it just in underground you just have different levels. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so down. And just the lower it is, I mean, the farther down you are underground, and it just depends on the BTUs. It will be higher or lower, and depending on what seam you're in, and the coal seams and things like that.
What in the world possessed you to say, you know what, I think I want to get a job at the coal mine?
Well, I mean, me personally.
I mean, were you a 5-year-old going, I can't wait till I get big. I'm going to be a coal miner, Daddy?
No, I mean, my grandfather's a retired coal miner, you know.
And it's a very honorable job. You have to be a very brave, you have to be a certain type of person to do this job. I know that. I'm not making light at all of the job.
That, and then, you know, I mean, from June 2005 to June of 2009, I was in the service. And when I got out, I said, okay, I'm either going to go back to school or I'm going to get a job. I'm going to find something that I can do to make money. Well, you know, I had all these friends that say, you know, they went and got bachelor's degrees and they do this and they do that. And they said, well, you know what? I like Southern Illinois. I want to stay here.
Right.
Well, you know, and a lot of people face that when you either move away if you get a degree or you try to get a job in that field. Or, you know what, you try to get on as an inside wireman, a lineman, a coal miner, something around here that you can make a good living versus...
Because you either have on a business suit and you work at a bank or you sell insurance or realty, or your butt's working at the mine.
Yeah.
Because that's where the good money's at. It really is.
And you know, I said, well, what can I go to school for that I'll enjoy to do for the rest of my life? And I said, you know, I just want to make good money. And, you know, coal mining, you know, it's one of the very few jobs where you can, you know, up to 6 figures.
And I remember telling my husband, you know, after he'd been in the auto body repair industry for 20 years, he said, you know, I think I might go to the mine. I said, hell no, you're not. Because if you do, I'm out of here. It's dangerous. It's scary. It's giving me the creeps. I can't lose you like that. You know, I didn't know anything about it. And he's like, I'm starting my classes next week at Wren Lake. And you know, the first couple months, I literally sheer terrorizing hell every night. And Tara Breimer became one of my very good friends. And I'd call her and say, I really don't know if I can handle this. I know that there's many dangerous jobs out there. I know axemen, you know, I know people working on the highway. I said, but if something caves in on him, he's not going to be okay. Is it worth the money? I'd rather be broke than deal with this. And as time goes by, it gets better, but then things happen, or they may be an hour late, or something jumps off, or, hey, we had a fall today, or, hey, so-and-so got hurt today, and it's another, no pun intended, reality check of, oh my gosh, anything can happen at any time. So, you know, we have wonderful insurance, we have wonderful benefits. He makes, you know, a pretty good paycheck every 2 weeks, but it does come with a price. He's gone 6 days every other week. You know, we've got a little boy every other 2 weeks. He's on second shift, and he's like, here we go again. Whenever he leaves for work, my son's at school, and our daughter's at school. Whenever he comes home, they're both asleep. So, you know, there are some sacrifices made for the money. So
yeah, there's sacrifices no matter what you do. I mean, I've got buddies that are inside linemen, inside wiremen, linemen that, you know, I mean, that's just as dangerous to me, I think, getting up there, climbing those poles every day, you know, driving 2 hours, you know, for a job, you know, staying all week in a hotel room, driving back. I mean, when you want to make good money, there's a cost in whatever you do.
There is. It's a sacrifice. There's sacrifices to be made. I guess and they say you don't know till you've been underground, the darkness. Because I'm like, oh, let's just turn the lights out. And is this what it's like? And Troy's like, no, you don't get it. And he's a claustrophobic person. So I thought his first day will either make him or break him. He may be home in 5 minutes and say, you know what, And I told him, I said, if you're ever scared or rattled, don't go back. I will get on an appointment with you. We will live in a cardboard box. But if you're ever scared or something bad happens, don't go back. Which leads me to recently at Willow Lake, one of Britt's fellow miners, somebody from Goreville, a 30-year-old man by the name of Chad Myers, great guy. I did not personally know Chad. I know several people that knew him and loved him are very, very, very upset and distraught and torn apart right now by this tragedy. You actually knew Chad, is that correct, Britt?
Yeah, we started in the mines together in July of 2009. Both as red hats together and shoveled the belt together for 8-9 months.
Yeah, I know. Whenever Troy first got on, they're like, okay, get ready for some back problems because you're going to be shoved on. I'm like, what? Why are you going to do that? And he's like, well, that's just what you do when you first start out. So you guys, didn't you, like, carpool?
Yeah, we in there for a little bit. We carpooled, and then I left the mines. I got a job down at USEC down in Paducah, Kentucky, and I went down there for a year and a half. And then I got laid off from that job. And then when I come back in the mines, I needed a red hat because I didn't know where mine was at, and I still had a couple more months till, you know, I got my face papers and things like that. And I called him, and he was there for me. And he's just that type of guy. He was always just a great guy, put other people before he thought of himself, and just an all-around great guy.
And so how'd you find out about what happened?
Well, I went to work on the 17th. You know, we pull up to the gate, and they had the thing closed, and they didn't say nothing. They just said we had an accident. You know, everyone's going home. The mine's idle today. And right then and there, I knew something bad had happened. So I actually called Chad that morning, and, you know, because it happened on third shift, and I knew he'd probably know something, and he didn't answer. And I said, well, maybe he's just not up top yet. And then I get a text from one of the bosses out there and said it was him that got killed.
That's always tough to stomach, no matter what. Ugh. And it can be anybody any day of the week. And whenever, you know, that happened, I believe, right before Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving?
Yeah, you're right. It happened November 17th, 3:20 in the morning. He was pronounced dead.
And we were off for that whole, you know, the whole week after that. And then, you know, you're thinking, oh, it's like your first day all over again. I don't want to let you go. You've been home for a whole week.
Mm-hmm.
And the first day back after Thanksgiving, you know, I know his schedule like clockwork. He calls every single day when it's day shift by 5 after 5. And if he doesn't, I worry. It's just like a natural, my body's like, you know, when he's on second shift, I wake up every night by 2:30. If he's not there, I'm like, okay, they're probably working over. I'm not going to call. He's going to think I'm crazy. I mean, that's not what you do. That means you're psycho. I'm worried about him. What if he had a wreck on the way home, though? You know, just things go through your mind. I'm like, this is my husband. You know, this is the father of my children. If he's not okay, we're not going to be okay. And, you know, I have been guilty of calling after it's 2 or 3 hours. And they're like, guard shack. And I'm like, you did not? Okay, listen, I'm not going to tell you who I am. They're like, what's up, Monica? And I'm like, okay, so you know it's me. So you know it's me. Is anybody still there? They're like, they're working over. Everything's fine. And like I say, you know, right after Chad had his accident and passed away, the first day Troy and them went back, I think there was like a random drug test or something. So it was like 30, 45 minutes later, and he called, and I was like, oh, my God, I hate you. I'm so bad. I mean, this is devastating. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm scared. You know, it was 30 or 40 minutes past, and I just start thinking the worst. And thank God everything was okay. Anytime there's a tragedy, it's awful. I know Chad was a very good guy, and it was senseless, a horrible accident. I hate to hear that. We have to take another quick break. Please stay with us. This is Reality Check. I'm Monica Zukas. We're talking about coal. We'll be right back.